Sean and Zach Show. Welcome to the Sean and Zach Show. We are here. We are back. Zach's as hot as ever. If you're not watching this and you're just listening to it on iTunes, just trust me. Just go ahead and trust me.
It's the boots.
It's the boots.
Got them on eBay for half off.
Okay, listen. You've got to... Is this just me, or is this like, does every woman do this?
My $30 Wranglers.
I'm really interested in this because Sax, she loves clothes. Okay, Sax is very much into fashion. She loves style. She loves her feather earrings. She loves these boots. What kind are they again?
These are Free People.
Free People. Now,
The
apparently
Brigands.
they're how much are they? Like retail?
They're $298. FreePeople.com.
They're $300 boots, right? But Sax has been ecstatic that she found them on eBay, brand new, and she continually reminds me how much she paid for them. Is that just a me thing, or does every woman do that? It's almost like I'm going to go spend but I'm just going to remind you that I got it half off.
But I got 3 pairs.
I got 3 pairs, but they were all so cheap. They were just half off, and I feel so good about this. But it's like every fucking thing you buy, you have to justify to me.
It's funny, too, because he thought, like you asked me yesterday, because I was like, babe, look at these Wranglers. I got them for $39. And you're like, I don't care how much you spend on them. And to me, I was like, oh, no, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud I have $39 pants and half off shoes.
I think part of it is you're like, well, I bought more shit today, and I just want to remind you that I'm a bargain shopper. I got that on clearance.
No, it's like a little wig.
Is that a thing? Is that what every woman does?
So I had a grandma.
That's what every woman does, right? Okay, got it.
I had a grandma that loved, she called it pick and scrounge. And your mother loves Dollar General. There's just something, and it's just like, I got this toilet paper for 30 cents cheaper. I don't know what it is, but it makes me happy.
Good.
Because then I can buy more of it, and maybe that's where the justification, I don't know.
I will say that there's a high probability you don't need any more boots.
I'm going to sell some of my boots.
You're not going to sell any of them.
I'm probably not. I'm just going to give them to my friends. I keep trying to find somebody with my shoe size. My friends don't
All
have my
lies.
shoe size.
All lies. Well, we're kicking off the podcast today. Our truthful,
Saxony's
radically...
lying.
My wife lying about her selling boots, which she's not going to.
No, I'm not going to sell them.
You know what? I think I speak on behalf of most men. Like, we're just happy that you're happy. You got some boots? Fucking great. I really don't care how much they are, but I'm glad that you keep reminding me that you got.
I just got a belt buckle too for a screaming deal on eBay. I think I just should stay off eBay.
I think you probably should. We were at dinner last night, date night, and Sax was. You have this thing where you're like, I already know because I watch what you were looking at, and you're like, I bought you a belt buckle. And I'm like, really? You mean you bought you a belt buckle and then just happened to like not want me to think, why did you buy this expensive belt buckle? So you went ahead and bought me a belt buckle too, which I don't need. But you know, the way that you like frame things is really fucking hilarious. I bought you a belt buckle last night. I'm like, fantastic. Show me yours. And of course, you bought yourself a belt buckle, and you proceeded to tell me I got a really good deal because I know how much turquoise is, and there's this giant stone of turquoise, and I got the best deal ever.
You did.
And you even told me about your conversations with the seller and how you negotiated with the seller and talked him way down.
They had to pay back taxes, and so
you got
that's
a deal.
what they told me, and I'm like, cool, thank you for my $200 belt buckle.
Good job, babe.
I know, it's funny.
Way to be a bargain shopper.
Uh-huh. It is funny. I don't know. I don't understand it. But it
hilarious.
certainly brings true and genuine satisfaction to me.
Good. Good. If you're happy, then I'm happy. It's that saying, happy wife, happy life. Mm-hmm. Good. Which, by the way, you don't need any more boots. Anyways.
No, I don't.
So, guys, we've been chatting about... we had a great conversation on date night last night. We furthered it this morning and wanted to talk about it here on the podcast today. About our friends and about your circle and about the people that you're with and the people that you associate with and the people that just are in your environment, and how, you know, as a married couple, how important that is, you know, to align with good people, to align with people with high morals and high standards, you know, and really people that align with you. You know, we don't go out very much. We don't hang out very much with a lot of people, but when we do, you know, we were talking about last night how important it is to us to have, you know, really good friends, you know, and I think that the quantity versus quality conversation is really important here.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of friends. Like, it's really weird. I
struggled. No, I don't think it's weird.
Well, I struggle with this. I've struggled with this for a long time because a lot of people look at Lions Not Sheep and you see me out there and, you know, I know a lot of great people and associate with a lot of great people, but you would think that, you know, I would just have invitations to every single gala and every ball and everything and all of these other things and all this other stuff, and that we would just have like all these invitations to go hang out and to party and to do this and this. And
you
we really
get a lot of invitations.
Well, you must not share them with me because I don't see a lot of them. But I don't share that in a negative light. I just I'm very much, and this might surprise a lot of people, I'm very introverted. I'm very much an introvert. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because a lot of people see us out there and talking and speaking and stuff, but I'm very, very recluse. Like, I'm very much an introvert. I mean, the greatest Friday night for me is literally in my pajamas, which is basically shorts and that's about it, on the couch watching a movie with you. Mm-hmm. That's like, what do you want to do on Friday night? That. Mm-hmm. Like, that's that, right?
Wouldn't you say, though, that's probably normal for most high performers that are giving so much energy to
Maybe.
people? Like, I just have Ed Milet popped in my head. I could imagine Ed Milet is similar. Like, you know, or Andy Frisella. Mm-hmm. Like, we know he's
Andy's a hermit,
right? It's
everybody knows Andy's a hermit. Andy's one of my.
I think it's because you show up so big, and it's like,
yeah.
Then that's your sacred time. That's your just like when you don't need to be on. You get to just like kind of like decompress. Because I think when you're in the limelight or in your however you want to call that. It's like you kind of need to be on, you know, because a lot of people approach you, a lot of people want to talk to you, and this and that, and it's maybe that's kind of why a lot of the people in that space are like that
hermits.
Are kind of hermits. I always Janis Joplin.
Well, I don't know anything about Janis Joplin.
She talked about that, how she would make love to thousands of people during her shows, and then she would end up like alone at home, you know, and it was like so much polarity in that. But
cool.
We don't need to go
I don't know much about Janis Joplin. I do, however, joke with Andy about this all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm like trying to get him to leave his house and come hang out or something like that. And I used to get like super offended by it. I'd be like, yo, dude, let's go party, let's go hang out, let's go vacation or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, we'll just like on a Friday night be text like, what are you doing? Like smoking cigars. Like, yeah, me too, kind of a thing. And it's a really cool thing, but it you know, in the conversation that we were having, because we were hanging out with, you know, our friends Frank and Chanel the other day, mm-hmm. and you've known Chanel for years and years and years. Like, it really is important to know that the people that you're hanging out with, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, are really good people. And I don't mean this in any negative or derogatory way or judgment where you're looking at it going, well, these guys are good, these guys are bad. But I think what's really interesting for us, you know, in being in a more exposed space, okay, more out there. We are out there. It's what it is. Like, we choose that life. We choose to share our life. We choose to share who we are and what we are on social media.
Right.
We choose that aspect of leadership. We choose that aspect of you know, vulnerability. There's nowhere around me am I like, oh, this sucks, man. I'm all in it. Like, I'm for it. I'm here for the freaking game. Sure. I love it. I appreciate it. It's a great gift. It's a great blessing from God to be able to have the following that we do, to have the movement that we do, to have the business that we do, you know, and as we were talking about this the other night, like, there's a really interesting stigma around that, like about what we kind of consider the cool kids club and who's in the cool kids club. And you see a lot of people go viral, and a lot of people will kind of show up and pop into the space and become really big. And you can do that with social media. Like, you can throw a video up there and go from being kind of a figure or a person that is not really out there to all of a sudden you're everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And you're this cool thing, and this almost like the shiny penny of the week kind of a thing, you know, and there's a natural tendency to like be drawn to that, and drawn to the person, or drawn to the deal, or drawn to the whatever it is, you know, and we've found over the last, you know, probably 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, really how important not chasing the shiny penny is, but really becoming clear with who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in, and truly making sure that the people that we spend time with are in that alignment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, we're very much in a monogamous relationship. It would not behoove us or serve us to go hang out with swingers. It's not who we are, right? It's not what we are. And more than anything, it would be like, the perceived notion of what are we doing hanging out with swingers if we're not swingers kind of a thing. And that might be an extreme example, but it's very important for us to know when we spend time with people, when we bring people into our world, like our world is sacred. This is something that I really enjoyed about our conversation last night over dinner is really valuing our world. And our world, I mean, like you and me, like our world that we're building, this life that we're building, this experience, these children that we have, these businesses that we have. This is really our world.
Yeah.
And so bringing people into your world, I mean, without it sounding really like in a negative way, like you really want to be cautious with who's in your world, who can infiltrate and come into this space. But at the same time, the flip side is you going in other people's worlds and being friends with different people. It's something that I have found over the last couple of months to be more important than really probably ever before in my life. It's something that I'm paying a lot more attention to. It's something that I'm a lot more cognizant of like, who am I associating with? Like, who do I want to associate with? Who adds value to my life? And who am I adding value? Am I a good friend? And they're the people that are in my space, givers or they takers, right?
Yeah. Well, Elena Cardone, she talks about this a lot. In the first, I think she says 4 years of her and Grant's marriage, they hung out with people that just weren't good for them. And it doesn't mean these were bad people.
Right.
She kind of talks about like, you need to associate and be around people that want to see you win in the way that you're trying to win and really be in alignment. And it doesn't mean good or bad or whatever, but you are a really good teacher for me of like how to, like, it really comes down to boundaries. It's very similar to the dating conversation, right? You helped me let go of my past friends that and I know this is super common. Well, I've known Joe since I was 15, but he's a drunk and he cheats on his wife, but I've known him since he's 15 and I don't really want to, it's comfortable.
Right.
Well, does Joe, is he adding to like your mission of like what you and your partner want? Well, probably not, right? And it's like you really need to, for us, we've just gotten really good at looking at like, okay, who's in our space? Why are they in our space?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, we're better than you.
It's not judgment.
It's not a judgment. It's just, I could recognize that there are certain people that were taking or they were heavy in my life. And you were great at that. And I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been really good with you of, pointing out figures that have been in, say, our space that I could see blatantly were not, they were either using you for your good credibility. And this might be very aggressive, but it's true. Like, do you have people in your space that are using your good character to capitalize in whatever in their life? Or are you turning a blind eye to someone who's cheating on their spouse and then trusting them in other areas? Because this is a big thing is, people are who they are.
Yep.
And I think that we've both been tremendously great teachers in different ways. And now we're in the last, 6 months, last year of our life, really looking like, okay, where are we headed? And having boundaries, just like being willing to let go what just doesn't serve you anymore and letting go with love.
Well, and I think too that there's the aspect of evolution. Like, we're evolving. We've been married 2.5 years. Yeah, give or take. I'm great at math sometimes.
2.5 years.
But
who are we to talk about marriage over here?
We're also not the same people that we were a year ago, or 18 months ago, or 24 months ago. And I think you made the point about you've known somebody for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. The reality is, like, in the direction that you're moving are the people that are in your space, are they moving in the same direction? You know what I mean? And I think I've struggled with this at times, realizing that people aren't, and that friends aren't, and people that I associate with aren't. But I've known them for so long, or we play poker together, or we ride motorcycles together, or we shoot guns together, or whatever. And I think it's really, it's an extremely important thing for you and I, and this is why we wanted to talk about it today, in recognizing that, we have a finite, and everyone listening to this has a finite amount of time. Literally, quite literally. Where you spend that time matters. Who you allow into your time, into your space, matters. And there's a really big draw. There's a really big desire for people, I think, across the board, to be wanted, to be accepted, to be welcomed, right? I feel that way. I won't even pretend that it's not the truth. Like, you see some people that go over here or go over there or this event and I didn't get invited, or why didn't I, whatever. And there's always that stigma. There's always that feeling, right? But I also truly believe that, like, as you're evolving and growing, while you're holding on to things from yesterday, people from college, and this, like you said, the drunk guy, this doesn't serve my space. And one of the things I talked about on the Lions Den call yesterday is loving people from afar. You know what I mean? Like, you can love people and not be involved with them. You can love people and not spend time with them. You can love people, and not travel together and go to dinner together and hang out together. And I think that's something that's really been profound for me over the last couple of months, last year specifically, is the deeper you and I go in our relationship, we realize the value of the people that we're around.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to hang out with people. And I'll just cut straight to the chase. It's really difficult for me to be around men that are not faithful to their wife, either in business or personally, period. It's just, it's something that I don't want in my space. I don't want to be involved with it. I don't want to be in it. And I struggled with that for a long time, because there's a lot of things that you want to be, well, hey, this person's balling, this person's this person's that, this is the cool kids club. And you're kind of like, there's this moral dilemma, you know what I mean? Of who you really want to be friends with, who you choose to be friends with. And, there's a really powerful thing, in my opinion, for somebody who's able to walk their own path, to truly be able to plant their own flag. And I have seen it just in our world, the last 6 months, our peer group, we'll just call it a peer group, friends group, whatever, has changed dramatically. It's changed dramatically. And I look at it, and a lot of times there's the ego of going, well, is this bad? Is it wrong? Is it us? Are we assholes? Do people not want to hang out with us? Or what does it look like? And the truth of the matter is, like, as we've evolved and our relationship has deepened, I think the commitment that we have to who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in, has deepened as well. And there is no more, I need to be part of this circle or that circle. It's like, no, it's our circle. We're building our table. And this is our table. And the people that we want to be around our table will allow to be at our table. And if we're welcomed at other tables, then we're welcomed at other tables. But our nature, who we are, what we believe in is far more important than what circle we're a part of, or what group we're a part of, or what party we get invited to, or what stages we speak on, or places that we go.
And I think it's not even about like what we're in. To me, it's like so much smaller than what you're invited to. It's like, who do you confide in? Who do you call every day? I don't even care about that other stuff, because we get so much opportunity for connection with people, and I love that, and I think that's beautiful, and I'm glad that so many people like to have us.
Sure.
But it's more of like me. It's like, who am I calling every day? What conversation? Because you become like the 5 people you are around the most, right? And so it's like really seeing, like, am I spending time, or am I connecting with this person? But am I doing it because it's convenient? Am I doing it because I've known them forever? Whatever it is. But like, back to, you said Frank and Chanel, like Chanel is like, she's so good at that too. Like, she is a friend that I know, no matter what, that girl's got my back. Like, she does. She will. She's that type of person. And I know that because she's that way in every way of her life. Like, she jokingly says, like, they run their family like the mob. Like, if you fuck with us, you're out. Like, you're out. Yeah. But they have this solid family. They've got 5 kids. They've got their stuff, whatever, but they're solid.
Yeah.
Like, you don't fuck with them because they have zero tolerance for that. So they only roll with people with zero tolerance for bullshit. So it keeps things real clean.
Oh,
like
dude,
there's very little she's that goes on because she's really quick at like nipping that in the butt, you know?
When we were in Texas a couple weeks ago. When was that? A month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and we went out with with Ryan and Amy Stuman.
It's great to see them.
They're I look at the way Ryan and Amy live their life and the values and the morals that they have, and the way that they honor and celebrate each other, and the way they talk about each other. And I'll just flat out say it aligns very much with how we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I watch Ryan honor his wife, and I watch Amy honor, her husband, and they talk about their kids and the family and the integrity and the honesty and the truth. And that's what I align with that.
Yeah.
I believe that you and I shine that same light. And it was a great conversation. Like we went out to dinner with these guys, and I bring them up obviously because they're friends and someone that I look at in that regard. But we spent 4 hours at dinner? What was it 4.5 hours at dinner, just talking about life and kids and the ranches and the dreams and the aspirations and the frustrations and things like that. And I really truly value those connections. I really value those relationships and those conversations, because it's, it a lot of times I feel, for me personally, I feel like an island. I feel like, I'm out here and there aren't very many people that get it or understand it or whatever. So when you get to align with people like that, again, it goes back to that quality versus the quantity. I'd rather have one or two of these types of connections than 200 fake ass,
Yeah. I really respect Ryan and Amy too, because Ryan's the same way. He's very cut and dry about it.
Yeah.
If probably even a little bit more, like, cause he's like, especially like we was talking about with his employees, like there ain't no fucking side hustle. Like you're either in this game or you're not in this game. And I'm like, well, that's
amen.
That's what's going, we don't do that. But, and it's dope because it's like, there's a reason we don't see him all the time.
Right.
Because they're building a life together.
Yeah.
They are
but when
so
we do,
razor focused.
It's like literally like a 4.5 hour, almost like the Godfather kind of dinner where it's like you're breaking bread and it's
but
phenomenal.
that's what I'm saying is those are the kind of friends, like they're so preoccupied building an epic life together, as are we, that, we don't see them all the time.
Yeah.
But they're good, and they're good, and you high five them from afar, and it's dope. But like that's it. It's like who's in your space? Like, dude, they're in our space. Doesn't mean they're in our space every day because we're doing a lot, And it's been a really interesting year, and it's not just us. This is like we've had lots of conversations with lots of people going through a very similar shift right now in who's in my space. I mean, it is. That's what I'm wondering if it's like the whole collective's going through this.
There's a leveling up, and
it's dope because the people that I see really winning are the ones that have boundaries and they have honor in themselves and they have self-respect, and they're like, this is what I want and this is what I don't want, and it's clearly orated and cool. If you're not in alignment with that, like, cool, go do what you want to do, but not. I used to be the type of person that I thought it's fine, they're just blank, that I was being somehow compassionate or nice, that I put up with a person that I could blatantly see was not, I'm not going to say anybody in particular, but not living a very good life. I was very aware of it. Was I in denial? Maybe. Or was I just I was more like I was just turning a blind eye and like, oh, whatever. And those people in the end showed me who they were. And this is like a long time ago, people. But, it's like I look back and I'm like, damn, like I chose that. Right. I kept putting those people in my space and I felt good about myself because I was being, so kind to have them around. Noble, but I was not doing myself any favors. I was actually hurting myself by keeping people that weren't winning, that weren't trying to win in my space. And why? I had to do a lot of self-inventory of like, what is it in me that's attracted to that?
Right.
Because that's not a healthy thing. It just isn't.
Well, and having the shift that we've had, and I think that's what, kind of sparked this conversation last night at dinner, is just like, as we evolve and we change, like our circle changes. And I talked about it on the Den call. And I really pray that people understand through this conversation that you evolving and you growing is a beautiful thing, and your people are going to change. The people you're going to be around are going to change. There's a very strong human nature, again, to be wanted, to be part of the big thing and the cool thing and the glitzy thing and the glamoury thing, but if that doesn't serve where you're going, who you are, what's at the foundation of your connection and your marriage, what's the cost of that? Is it
serving your ego?
Right.
Is it a fun distraction from really, you going all in on yourself because, I'm too busy, doing this? Like, there's a lot of things that you might just be mentally blocking why you're actually doing that.
Well, and to break it down to the simplest reality, like, who you hang out with matters.
Yeah.
I really value the people that we hang out with because they drive, they push and they challenge, and it's something that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? I'm proud of the fact that, like, the people that we get the good fortune to be around and that we choose to be around and obviously welcome us into their world are people that are wanting to change the world. They're good people. They're solid people, and I think that's really, it's an honor for me to be able to hang out with such good people and to have the connections that I do, because I want to know that, like, the men that I'm around are good men. I want to know that the men that I'm around, I want to know that I could leave my kids with them and they're going to impart wisdom. This is like kind of taking it one step further. I want to know that, like, the men specifically that I choose to be around are men that are leaders of their own family. They're leaders of their own tribe. They're honorable. They're trustworthy. They're noble. And not like, hey, man, I'm going to leave my kids with you. Don't give them a fucking crack pipe while I'm gone kind of a deal. But, like, they take them in as their own. And I think, there's a lot of the people that we hang out with. I feel like I'm the same way with them, like in honoring their children and teaching them and leading them. And that's a really good identifier and indicator of like who you should and shouldn't be around. Would you put your kids in a room with these people and let them educate your kids? Would you put your kids in an environment with these people?
That's a great one.
And would they come out better? Would they come out educated? Would they come out, with some new nugget? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like again, just going back to Ryan and Amy, like if my kids were out on the ranch, if my kids were out on the ranch with Ryan would be whooping their ass, making them go to work, and I'd be the same way. I'd take his little freaking turds and I'd be like, yo, go pick up some shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. It might sound really cheesy to some people right now, but that's a very, very, very big thing. It's a big thing to be able to think about the men that you're around or the women that you're around. Would you allow your children to spend time with them, and would you trust that these people in your space would honor your children as their own, teach them as their own, lead them as their own? And, it's a very good indicator of who you're around, because if the answer is no, the question is, why are you around these people? Why would you choose to be around these people if that was the truth and the reality?
Right. Chanel and I were actually talking yesterday, and it was kind of funny, because you would think, well, let me get to it. Sometimes my thoughts get jumbled. We all know this, though. Is she was thanking me for some medicine that I had given her. Medicine meaning truth. I just matter of fact, right? And it wasn't what she wanted to hear in that moment, I doubt, but it was the truth.
Right.
And she does that same thing to me.
Yeah.
She doesn't like cushion or like have compassion for my bullshit. Like if I'm totally out of line, she just calls me on it. And that's why I love her, because we're starving for truth.
A good friend too.
Oh, it's that exactly. And that's what I told her yesterday. And then I looked at my phone and it was 444, and then she's all into 444 right now. And I'm like, see, I literally just said that a 444 is, I'm like, girl, like I tell you truth. That's why you're my freaking best friend. Like, and you speak truth to me. That's why and that's it. It's that I know that chick is going to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And so if I need to hear something, like, I trust whatever she's telling me. I'm like, okay. But if you're not a friend that speaks truth and you just sign off on their bullshit, subconsciously they know you're not a good friend, and you know you're not a good friend. So it's like, be willing to speak radical truth to people, and that'll clear your space out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Because people that aren't ready for truth are going to be offended, or they're going to turn it upside down and make you into some bad guy that, oh, you said I have to do this, nope, I'm just telling you my boundaries. Like, you can choose where you fit in there, but that's a making of a great friend, is if you could speak radical truth to them and they're like, all right.
They take it.
They don't have to
Don't
take
necessarily
it.
need
But
to like it.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your friends matter. Your circle matters. Your
Yeah.
peer group matters. Who you choose to have in your space and sitting at your table matters. Whose tables you sit at matters. You know, a determining factor, again, not to beat the horse to death, but is like, would I want my kids to spend time around these people? Would I entrust them to teach and educate my kids? Because again, time is a valuable freaking thing, man. Time is something we cannot get back, and where we spend it, who we spend it with, really fucking matters. And at the end of the day, like, you know, this is something that's been a really beautiful experience for us over the last, I mean, it's been a beautiful experience forever, right?
Yeah.
But specifically the last year or so, seeing so many rad people come into our space and being involved with so many incredible men and women and couples is really, really, really powerful. It's really humbling. We've got a rad group of people.
Very rad.
We've got a really cool peer group, a really cool group of friends that we spend time with, and I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah. And then my last thought is just like, you are and will be guilty by association. So if you're hanging out with people that you know are out of alignment or out of integrity, you could even just be causing issues in your marriage that don't even need to be there, because you're going on golf trips with a guy that your wife knows cheats on his wife or whatever. Like, this is another real life situation we know about. It's like, is that helping you? Like, is that helping your marriage by just traveling with someone who's cheats on their spouse? Like, that's not helping your marriage. So why are you doing that? You know, it's like, are you going to events that person's hosting that you know is a shady character, but your friends will be there? Oh, it'll be fun. We just don't need to necessarily talk to them. It's like, no, that matters, because you're showing that you're like, people don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but there is guilty by association. And so just know, it's like, keep people in your space that are of high caliber, right? And then be that friend as well.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That would be my thought. Life's a journey.
You're a good friend to a lot of people, Saxony.
I really try.
Yeah.
I really try. Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve and I try to serve my people. I do care a lot.
Amen.
Genuinely.
That's why we get along so well, because we both do. We both care.
Yes, you're very good.
Guys, choose your friends wisely. Be a good friend.
You're a really good friend.
I try to be.
You're a really good friend.
Yeah. Choose your friends wisely.
You're my very best friend.
Build a good table. Build a big table. Build a table that you can honor your friends and honor people and teach them and educate them and make sure that you're sitting at the right tables. And the rest will shake itself out.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else, babe?
Nope, that's all.
Good. God bless you. Guys, thanks for tuning in. If you know anybody that needs to hear this or should hear this or whatever else, feel free to share it. Drop us a comment. Tell us what you think. And
go follow Ryan and Amy if you're not.
Ryan and Amy
They're
Stewart. They're
fantastic.
great, man. They're awesome people.
They are.
All right. God bless you. See ya.
Love you. Bye.